Frank Lampard maintained his 100% loss record since taking over at Chelsea. His side slumped to their third straight defeat at home to Brighton. After the match, he admitted his team is not good enough in every department of the game.
I think at the moment, more than defeats is performance we've got to talk about, because the wins only come with performance. And in terms of performance, that was the most disappointing one, because we were well beaten. And, in the basics of football, again, it's a really good Brighton team, so we must give them a lot of credit, because they're a fantastic team and they can perform like that pretty much against anyone in the league. But we were short, a yard short, a tackle short, a fighting duel moment short. And when that's not right, then you're not going to win games. And you have to have the capacity to do that as well as a desire. And at the minute, we're falling short on that, and we need to turn that around quickly.
I don't want to go after Frank Lampard, right? Because I know he's a Chelsea legend, right? And he's been offered the job again at his club to take over. He could have said no. Right? It's very, very difficult when you've got a big ego, as all world-class or great players have got. I totally understand that. Difficult to say no. Maybe he should have turned it down. I just blame Todd Bowley. I blame what's going on at Chelsea. He's sacked a man that won the Champions League. He's sacked the man that cuts the grass, and that fella's son as well. I think the club's run by people that are utterly clueless.
Yeah,
I really do.
I do blame Todd Bowley for a bit, the investment, the too much money. But I think you've got to blame him for bringing Lampard back. I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
a lot of people have said, it was the right thing to do to appease the fans, but it's been arguably worse than it was under Potter. I mean, against Brighton on Saturday, they got absolutely battered. I know the scoreline reads 2-1. They were battered. At one stage in the first half, Brighton had something like, I'll tell you it here actually, at one stage in the first half, Brighton had 67% possession. Chelsea at home had 33%. They got absolutely battered. Brighton had more attempts on goal. They looked more dangerous. They kept the ball. They had 26 shots, Brighton. Chelsea had 8, and they're at home. I just think he reverted back to a 4 at their back as well, which clearly doesn't work for that team. It's almost like they've put their eggs all in this Champions League basket. And I don't see, with the performance against Wolves, the performance against Real Madrid, the performance against Brighton, where they think they're going to get a result against Real Madrid from. Because he's got 2 strikers. I know the managers before didn't play Aubameyang. Chelsea's problem at the minute is they can't score goals. Just give Aubameyang a run out. He's not going to be there next season. Yeah. Fofana's another striker they got. Just give them a run out to see what they can do. Doesn't do that, and they just look so disjointed at the minute that I don't quite know what the answer is.
No. And when you look at Crystal Palace, and I got it wrong with Crystal Palace, I didn't think Roy Hodgson would do anything. I thought he'd take them down. I didn't think it was a massive improvement, right? You could argue that he's had easier games than Vieira had, but the way they're playing football at the moment, the freedom in which they're scoring goals is totally different to it was under Vieira. So Hodgson's doing something right. You can't deny that. Why aren't Chelsea thinking, do you know what, to the end of the season, let's get Roy Hodgson in? Or someone like that. You've got players like, not that he would take it to the end of the season, but you've got managers like Brendan Rodgers, you've got Thomas Tuchel. You've got these managers that aren't in what Tuchel is, I know that. But are you honestly telling me that Frank Lampard is your best and only option as the owner of Chelsea between now and the end of the season?
No, but I think it's the one that made the fans happy. But you're right.
But he's not making the fans happy.
With Hodgson, it makes perfect sense. And even when I think Vieira, I think everyone at Crystal Palace supporters wanted it to work for Vieira. They liked him. They wanted to see the back of Roy. But I just think confidence was gone under Patrick Vieira. He's playing players in the wrong position. He wasn't even playing Eze at times. Eze was coming off the bench. Yeah. Look at him now.
I know.
It's like Roy's gone in, done a fantastic job, got the players playing again, got the confidence back in the squad, and they're reaping the benefits. I mean, the last 3 games have looked absolutely superb. But I think for Chelsea and Frank Lampard, and a lot of Chelsea fans love Frank, and his legacy at that football club will never be tarnished as a player, because he's been that good. But seeing what he's doing at the minute,
this might be the end of his management career.
It could be.
If they go the whole season win 1 game, no one's going to go near him after that.
Exactly, but for whatever reason,
more harm than good.
I still don't think some Chelsea fans might go, Lampard's not the right man, but you're still going to get some out there that are going to go, do you know what, I feel sorry for Frank. It's not his fault, it's Todd Bowley's fault.
Let's speak to one. Barry's a Chelsea fan. Hi, Barry.
Hi there, guys.
Hi, Barry. Off you go.
Well, you could have predicted that Frank wouldn't make it. Turn it round. Think of the great players who've made great managers. I can think of 2 or 3. That's all. I can give you hundreds who haven't.
Yeah.
And it's. I don't know whether it's in their mentality that they were excellent and they can't deal with anything less than excellence. And a whole team of 11, even at a club like Chelsea, are not all going to be excellent. So you've got to modify the way you manage people. So, I mean, thinking Alf Ramsey, great player, great manager. Think of another one.
Carlo Ancelotti.
Guardiola. Pep Guardiola.
I know what you're saying, right? We could probably rattle off a few, but I totally agree with you. Just because you have been a world-class player, or there or thereabouts, that has no bearing on whether or not you'll be a good manager.
Man management is totally different to... Football's about skill and using a skill. Man management is about attitudes, about getting people to understand the right things, to understand priorities, to understand where your strategy is going to take them. It's the same in business. You know, I could count on the fingers of one hand the great people I've worked for. You know, I worked for Terry Leahy at Tesco. Fantastic leader. But, you know, whether he would have been a great manager is another matter. But
Barry, let me ask you, do you want Lampard there to the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, our season's done and dusted anyway, so, you know, we're not going to go down, but we're certainly not going to get into...
Do you want him there for the rest of the season, though, Barry?
I don't see the point, to be honest. I don't see the point in sacking him. I don't see the point in him staying.
Okay, Barry, thanks for that. I mean, after tomorrow, it's tomorrow night they've got Real Madrid tomorrow night?
Once if they go out in that competition, then what?
That's it, yeah. That game, by the way, at the Bridge, Chelsea against Real Madrid, live on talkSPORT tomorrow.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.